Hey, we're so excited to finally be back from the holidays, but y'all, those holidays, they can be loud. And if you're listening to this and feeling a little untethered spiritually, emotionally, I want you to hear it here first. You're not late and you're not behind. You just need to come back to the table. Hey, welcome back to the Elizabeth Project. We're back! It's been a little bit, but we took a small break. We really wanted to focus on family and all the craziness that goes into holiday season without anything added to it. And so, yeah, here we are.
Well, and I even had a few people saying that they were catching up on previous podcasts. So I think sometimes a break is good because if you didn't watch the previous ones, when we take a break, you have time to catch up.
Time to actually focus in.
Right.
I agree. And here we are. Is this y'all's first meeting of the year?
Yes, first meeting of the year.
Okay.
Second week in January, I guess, technically.
Yes, and we're here at the Hampton. So this is our setup.
You love it? I love it. I love the just couch. We're just relaxing
We're just
together.
not sure. But it's better than being embarrassed in the lobby. So I'm on edge now.
Yeah, I agree. But so Shane and I have been talking about the holidays, and I told her, I said, I feel like we really have to cover this at the beginning because, y'all, I struggled through the holidays. I remember hearing moms talk about all this stuff and how making the memories and hitting all the things. And I really hit that season this year. And I got to New Year's and we did a little family party at the house. And I said, why did I enjoy that more than some of the things that I orchestrated for big Christmas events? Mm-hmm. And John looked at me and he said, because you chilled out and enjoyed it. Yeah. And he wasn't being ugly, but y'all, I was so like, gotta get this done. And I want to go here, here, and here. It was literally on the calendar because I had to get it all done, right, while we were home.
She makes lists.
So I made a list, and it was all on calendars, and we were seeing the lights this night and the gingerbread houses this night. And then I realized, though, like, I'm half freaking out for everybody to take the picture because I want the memory, but then we're killing each other over that.
Just trying to get it.
Just, it was too much, and I didn't take time to stop and relax. And we always talk about that's not the reason for the holidays, and I do understand all that, but then I feel like the years are passing and memories, you're going to miss them. And so it's hard. And I didn't find that balance well until I made it through. And Shane mentioned coming to the table for today. And I was like, that's it. I had to come back to the table, take a minute, recollect my thoughts, gain my rest, and regroup. So,
yeah, I've said this many times when we've talked about it. In life, I feel like I do a decent good job on doing all the things. Like we do a lot of things, okay? But I got convicted because as I was doing these things and then I came to like a realization one day and I was like, I'm going to look back and say I did a lot of things with my kids, but did I enjoy the things with my kids? And it's hard whenever you have personalities like that. I know we've talked about how like you and he somewhat have that same personality. He's kind of the same. It's like we need to do everything. Like if we don't do 2 events in one night, then we didn't do anything at all. And it's just taking a step back and just saying like, giving yourself grace. You don't have to do everything, and just to do the things well that you can enjoy.
You don't always have to be in a rush.
Yes.
And creating chaos, and that's literally us.
I look at me. Remember that time she was like, why are we always in a hurry? And I said, because we always have to be somewhere.
Every time. But it's true, y'all. And I don't know if you guys have felt that way, but I lived it and felt it, and I needed today.
Yeah. So we're going to use January. My whole thought behind January was to regather and not grind. Because what does everybody tell you in January? All of a sudden now you need to grind on everything that you didn't do last year. Now is the time to start grinding it out.
The goals.
For this year. And not that goals are a bad thing, but you know, there is parts that you need to regather.
And that honestly may be my new mindset for January's for the rest of forever. Yeah. To regather.
Just to regather.
Not to freak out and go.
I like it.
Me too.
I put something in the notes as we were talking about, and I said, as much as I love me some goals, you know, God is He's not waiting on your goal list. He's not waiting on you to wake up in January and be like, here are all my new goals that I'm going to do for you. Instead, showing up imperfectly, that still counts.
It absolutely
because
counts.
You're not perfect all the time.
No.
And if you only showed up when you were perfect,
I'd never show up, y'all. I would never be there. You have to do it. Sometimes you have to show up. And I thought about, this is a random analogy, but we're going to call it the diploma analogy.
Okay.
Had a friend, was dead set. He was going to go to college at this big college, but decided he needed to go to a technical school for a couple years instead. And you know what someone told him? His diploma, when he transferred to that big college, after 4 years, 2 years, 1 year, do you know how they got to that diploma? No. Everybody's diploma said the same university, had their name on it. It was all the same, and it didn't matter how you got there, how long it took you, what it took for you to get there. If it took you 15 years, no one knows that. You just have to get there. And when I read that, I was like, showing up imperfectly still counts. Doesn't matter what you do, how you get there, how you show up, what you're bringing to the table when you're regathering and coming back. You just have to go.
And regathering doesn't even mean restarting. It's not like you have to have this fresh piece of paper, or I know we like to use that in January, like it's a fresh start, and it is, but it doesn't always have to be a restart. It could just be a return.
Yep.
Returning back to what you know is right and what you know, like what you were supposed to even have done last year. But you let things get in the way, you let busyness get in the way, and sometimes it's even just rest. And I know that you were telling me a little bit, I wasn't here the other night, but you were talking about something that you had heard with rest.
We had a sermon on rest, and I'll be honest, I went down to pray because clearly we all need rest. So I knew I did, and I was like, I should probably gather from this, right? Get something from this. And I go down and I'm praying and I'm talking to the Lord, and it was like I didn't even really know what I was asking for. I was just kind of waiting on him to tell me. And oh, did he? Because it was almost like he laughed and was like, you're still so overwhelmed and caught up and running and going that I literally didn't even see that I needed rest.
Yes.
Does that make sense? I was still so in the...
Well, with being a mom, being in any type of, I say ministry, but I mean, even people with, normal jobs and lives, the busyness is just, it's almost like blinders of what you really need, or even to take the guilt away of saying that that's what you really need.
Right. And that's what, when I realized I didn't even see, I guess that's more what it was. I didn't see a need for rest. Excuse me? Like, we all need it. Why did I not see that my life needed rest? And it was because it's so calendared, penciled out, and I've had all the things that I didn't even realize. And I felt so convicted, like, that is biblical. The rest is biblical. And that's what's going to help us grow and gain when we're rested in Him. And y'all, physically, holy cow, physically we need rest. Like, it's okay for our bodies and everything to rest and reset. And it's funny because I even saw a video the other day, she was saying with all the goals in the new year, new me, is what everybody says, right?
Yeah.
This girl posted out and she said, new year, same me. And you don't have to always restart.
No, you don't have to restart. You really just need to find like a place to come back to.
Y'all will laugh. Shout out to no, I can't say that on here. Cut. Okay, so thinking about this, why do we drift from the table? Overcommitment?
Yeah.
What else you think?
Like I said, it's maybe personal expectations, family expectations, any of those.
Ministry, grief.
A lot of people retreat either through grief or disappointments.
Oh, yeah. I think comparison is the thief of joy. We hear that.
Right. And it doesn't even have to be like a jealousy comparison.
Right.
It even could be just not that you're not wanted, but you put that on yourself. That maybe you're not wanted in a situation or a space and you find yourself retreating.
Right. Or even just social situations in general, comparing, reading the room. Like I watched Denver and he withdraws in certain places, and it's comfort levels, and we do compare.
We do.
At all different levels. It doesn't always have to be the jealousy. And then survival. Like just the surviving, thriving, whatever. Not thriving, but surviving.
Mode.
Survival mode.
Survival mode is a real thing.
Yeah. Especially with faith, like, it shouldn't be that way.
Yeah.
But so many times in our faith, we're like, I've said it. I'm like, I ain't thriving, but I'm surviving.
And it's funny, like, when you mention survival mode, how when you're in that, your mindset is instantly, well, I just need to push through and do more. Right. It's never maybe this is the Lord calling me to step back and rest.
Right.
Or step back and regather. Not even necessarily, I'm not saying you gotta go on like a 6-week hiatus and, like you just said, say no to some things. Just regathering yourself to really bring yourself back to what really is what matters.
You have to find that balance of rest, not doing too much, not doing enough.
I love this little watchy here that I got for Christmas because it's addicting though, because he's like, you can't base your day off a stupid watch.
Hey.
Like, it tells me my body battery right now is at 33%. I'm like,
going down.
They do it, I guess. I can't do that. My body battery is over.
Oh, that's all we're gonna hear now. Shane's body battery. She's gonna be like, it's ticking away. You better hurry. Can you start telling me that? I'm gonna start asking her. Everyone, when you see Shane, say, "What's your body battery?" Can we?
But it's so true. So the way that it calculates it, though, it'll do like your hours of sleep at night, and say you didn't get 8 hours, which as being a mom, that's very rare. But it does. It shows how your body battery, days and days after not resting, it goes down and it goes down. And I thought that is so the same, even spiritually,
Yeah,
or
it
like
is.
how you can give or how you can do things. Like when you are continually not
Right.
resting or not giving yourself even time for your own personal devotion or things like that, how your body battery just goes down and down, and your watch is like, can't do that today, you don't have enough body battery.
Well, but it's just proof, Shane, like that's how God created us.
Yes.
Sunday's a day of rest, and there's supposed to be sleep at night. Y'all, if he didn't think we should rest, he wouldn't have made us to sleep. Like that is convicting. You about to get convicted by your watch all year.
I will keep watching it. I love that though, because when I was doing this, I put drifting doesn't mean that you stopped caring. So like this is where the guilt comes in, because a lot of people will be like, well, I feel myself, drifting or whatever. And it's not that I'm lazy. It's not that I don't care, but life just got heavy.
Yeah.
I mean, in all of those things, life easily can get heavy. And I think that's just a call to, like we said, stop and regroup, regather,
Right.
or anything that you need to do in that time.
Right. And things like what pulls you away without you even realizing it.
That's the hard ones. Like, it's easy when you realize the things, like
Yes.
they're very apparent. Like when I can say, well, I mean, we were on the road for 9 weeks straight. So I
Right.
can see why I'm a little frazzled and why I can't say that I'm just ticking on all 4 cylinders.
Right. Or you worked overtime, or
yes.
you had a party that weekend that's normally not in a birthday party. All the things like those you can kind of pinpoint. But the ones that you don't realize,
Like
that
you
are
don't
just flying
see.
under the radar,
And they're nicking away at you,
those little things you have to put together, like what has changed, what is different in your life around you that's making you feel that imbalance. Was it a season? Was
I
it
mean,
a
you
wound?
definitely go through seasons.
We all do.
I mean, it's easy to tell a mom, well, just rest when the baby rests. Well, that don't work. I've never been able to do that. I don't know where that advice came from.
There's too much to do.
And so as a mom, you're exhausted. Like there's just but that doesn't stay forever.
Right.
And it's
Seasons.
not even a state you have to live in. You don't have to accept it and just waller in.
Right. I
my
think about
exhaustion.
wounds, even. Sometimes they need rest. You have to baby them. You have to care for them to get better.
Yes, because just, like when you try to push through instead of taking care of those things, like have you ever heard of the quote, hurt people hurt people? So what really are you doing besides more damage when you're not taking time to try and heal that hurt?
Right.
You're
not doing anything to help. And then, like we've said, exhaustion. So I have a question for you, because I have felt this. Do you feel shame for needing rest?
Yes. I mean, I think
We all do.
I was about to say I wouldn't know anybody like no. I mean maybe I guess everybody's different.
And if maybe that's where we have not come to that place where we realize it's okay, and you do feel the pressures of life, y'all. You have to go. You have to be it all. You feel like you have to do it all.
And isn't it funny? Like just breaking up the seriousness for a minute. This is terrible, but I could have been with the kids all day long, and he'll be super kind, and he'll be like, why don't you just go off for a little bit? And I'll be like, okay. And then I'll get in the car and be 10 minutes down the road. And I'm like, why do I feel so bad?
Guilty. You feel guilty.
Why do I feel so guilty?
Yes. And I love that you just gave that, because that's not like a sleep rest,
Yes.
but just a mental rest to regather. Okay, so thinking about scripture.
Okay.
I mean, it always comes to my mind. Matthew 11:28.
Right.
Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. We're all laboring somehow.
Yeah.
Right? And it always gets heavy. And it's hard. And I will give you rest. We had a pastor's wife today look at us, and she was like, life is hard.
Yes, she did.
And it is for everyone. It's everyone. Life is
Feels
heavy
it.
and life is hard and laboring. And so we have to come unto him, and he gives it.
Right.
It's a gift.
I love when you said that, and then I wrote down this because we were even talking about guilt. But like Jesus doesn't ask like why you left, why did you drift, why did you? He literally, it's like he just pulls you up a little seat and says, "Welcome back."
Which, think about it. Think about kids running back to the table. I mean, you'll brush out the seat, he always pulls up the
He
chair.
always does,
Every time.
and he doesn't demand a recap. Like, give me give me a little recap on
Why'd you leave at the first
where
place?
you've been and what made you drift. I mean, obviously he already knows.
Right.
And I mean, have you ever had to earn your seat? Like if you're all sitting around the table, like, let me do 10 jumping jacks and maybe you'll give me a seat here. Or let me show you how cool I am and maybe you'll pull me up a chair. But no, it's not like that in real life. And it's not like that with the Lord either. You don't have to earn your seat back.
No, he's always just open arms.
Okay, so for instance, has there ever been like a season or a situation in your life where you feel like maybe you drifted or maybe you weren't a part and then you felt welcomed back in?
My answer to this is literally all the time. That more times than not, when I got to thinking back on my life of a situation or a season, Shane, there have been so many times, it'll make me emotional, that I have gotten distant with the Lord and he just brought me back in. You know, I'm not saying it could be times where we were deep in sin or doing things we weren't supposed to or living like we weren't supposed to, but even just the little things where like, I'm not reading my Bible and talking to him and really trying to grow my relationship like I should and trying to study and lead like I should. And sometimes felt more distant than others. But it is a cycle. And I'll be honest, I wish I could break the cycle of ever becoming distant. To say, from here on out, I am never going to become distant. I'm never going to do that again. But y'all were flesh.
Yes.
And that just doesn't happen. And so I think what the Lord put on my heart today was just to figure out how to regather and get back on track. You're never going to be able to make a promise. That'll be a false promise of saying, I'll never fall away again, or I'll always do things right, or I'll always be right where I'm supposed to be in my relationship with the Lord. And I think that's heavy, and we don't want to admit that. But that was the first thing that came to mind. Yeah, all the time. There are seasons all the time where I fall distant with the Lord, and we fall short because that's who we are. You know?
Like what you just said earlier when we were off camera, you were talking about how you were listening to somebody, and she was just like, I'm just doing the best I can.
Yeah, I will tell you. That's my thing this year, y'all. Ladies, girls, women, there is scripture, and it's the most beautiful story. It says she did the best she could. And sometimes you're just doing the best you can. So what does that look like for you? Is the best you can do starting to decide this year that you're going to do all the things and you're going to have the checklist, or are you just barely making it by? You're trying to figure out how to regather. You're trying to scrape yourself up and get up and go for it. Just take it one day at a time.
Do the best you can.
One step and do the best you can.
Do you feel that pressure that comes off? Like, do you feel that pressure that comes off when you're like, I'm just going to do the best I can?
So women, this year, she did the best she could.
Did the best you could.
Rest.
So what things can look like coming back. So say you hadn't opened up, we'll go down the basics. Like say you haven't opened up your Bible in a while, you know, start with that. That being the best you can. Like we said, it doesn't have to be long. A verse. I sometimes like a verse. I like meditating on a verse. Obviously, we need to be students of the Bible, and you need to know it.
Right.
And there's seasons for that. I told Heath, I said, actually, I'd actually signed up to finish one of my Bible college courses, and we didn't know we were pregnant with Kason at the time. And he just came in the room, and he was like, you know what, I just don't feel like that's the season. We're in the season for that right now. And I got mad because my personality is I want to go more and I want to do more. And so I was like, no, like I have put this off through 2 kids. I'm finally my head's a little bit, above water. Like I'm doing it. Well, then come to find out I was pregnant with Kason. And I said, that's probably why he had that inkling from the Lord of it's just not that season. And that is so true. Like in motherhood and whenever, your focus is your baby's reading, I don't even know when you would have time to read multiple. I mean, I guess once you put the babies to bed or getting up early.
Right.
But really to get me through my day, I need that one solid thing that I'm really thinking over and I'm really chewing on. But it's different for everybody. Some people can. Some people can be moms and read chapters throughout the day.
When you have different things, like I'll tell you in my Bible life, I told John, there is a difference in me in the quietness of the night when things have finally calmed down. I might read a few things, but then times where I get to sit down and journal and annotate and look through things and study, those are great too, but that's not always. That's not an all the time thing. So you have to figure out and be okay when it looks different, even day to day. Don't put so much pressure that it always has to be. Yes, we need to be doing something because we get to.
Yes.
Not because we have to.
That's what I've been looking for.
Not because we have to or not because we've been told to. But y'all, because we get to grow our
And
relationship
that's
with the
how
Lord.
it gets you through the day.
It sure does.
That's what really helps. And I think that is what I've been looking for. And I think that's the problem.
Yep.
Because as moms or as women, do you ever feel like if I have one more pressure or if I have one more thing that is a to-do, I'm going to jump out of this window.
Yes.
And so sometimes that's it. We turn our time with the Lord or reading verse into just something else that I really need to do.
Right.
But whenever you start slowly coming back to the table and you realize this is what actually helps me get through the day and it's not a pressure, it's a privilege.
Right.
You know?
It's with anything.
Yes.
I get to go there, not like I'm having to, say a dinner. I have to get dressed today. Y'all ever feel that way? I have to do my makeup and I have to do my hair. Or, we get to go out. We get to go. It's
changes
so different. It
such
changes
a
everything.
mindset.
So how are you feeling? And if you're not feeling that way, hype yourself up.
Yes.
We get to do this.
We get to. I love that.
But you have to make it attainable
Yes.
to get to. Praying honest prayers.
Instead of pretty ones.
Oh.
I just making sure it's pretty. My prayers ain't never pretty, so.
But you hear the people that have the prettiest prayers.
So I'm not getting my words out like
pray
that.
those honest prayers, y'all.
Wish I could be like Emmy. Emmy says, "Dear Lord,
she does.
thank you for letting us have a Jesus lovely day." And I'm like, where have you heard that? You didn't hear from me.
Pretty prayer.
She prays a pretty prayer.
It's pretty, but it's not always that time of life.
It's not, and that's hard. It's hard to come back to the table with that pressure point of I need to pray a prayer that seems like I never left. And
Talking
then
to the Father.
Just small steps. And this is all nursery stuff that we probably already know, but just a good reminder. Small steps lead to big places.
I sure do. One step at a time.
That's all it takes. All right, so your challenge with this is I just want you to sit with God for 5 minutes. You can set a timer, you don't have to, or however long you want to stay. Literally no agenda. Sit still for 5 minutes. That has helped me the most. Whenever I feel like I need to regather myself and figure out what is going on, why am I feeling so overwhelmed? Why do I feel like I've drifted? If I can get in the quiet, and I know that's hard. I've been trying. So with the planning that I've been doing, I'm very bad at texting. So I voice text a lot. Our 1,200 square foot home, voice texting comes with screaming kids in the background. So I know finding quiet is hard. Even if you have a sweet husband that'll let you get in the car for a little bit and just don't go anywhere. Just sit. Right. And I feel like that would help.
And it's hard, especially in our generation. I've thought about this the other day. I was like, not touching a phone.
Not touching a phone.
Not having to do something we're thinking. And try for those 5 minutes. Don't be focused on the 5 minutes to be up.
No.
Sit still and be okay. You ever hear people say now, kids don't know how to be bored these days. But we really don't know how to sit still.
We don't. Absolutely. It's the hardest thing to make yourself do.
Yes.
But if you can ever make yourself get there, there's never been a time that I have sat in the quiet and instant, worship or tears or just an overwhelming, almost like a big hug.
Yeah.
And after those 5 minutes, write down what you need instead of what you should do. And this is something me and Heath started last year. He said, you always are making to-do list. And he said, I want to be a better husband, but I never know what you need. And I don't want to fail you because I'm not aware and I'm not a good communicator. So we have been trying to find ways for me to communicate better. And it is making list of what I need. And I feel like it's the same with the Lord.
Right.
You can't always come to Him with your need. But I'm not saying, like we always hear, He's not a Santa Claus God. You just can't come with your wants. I'm not even saying wants. Some things you want.
Right.
But things you deeply need.
And a lot of times that'll go back, just like I said when I was praying and didn't even realize I needed rest. When you start making those lists of what you truly need, you will start thinking, what do I need? We talk about wants and needs. What do I need? And He'll point those things out to you. He'll help you figure them out so that He can help. He wants to help the need.
He does. And most of the time it is needing Him.
Right.
Needing more of Him. Needing filled with Him. And so, yeah.
Yay.
I don't know how to end this one.
I don't know, but this helped me today.
Yeah. And we hope it helped you. And so we'll catch you next time. Thanks.
Good.
Thanks for spending time with us here on the Elizabeth Project. Every listen, every share, and every message means the world. My hope is that these conversations remind you that you're seen, you're called, and you have a purpose right where you are. Until next time, keep showing up, keep growing, and remember, you belong here.